Shalom, shalom. Before I start this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren preaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. It's the brother Dama Agabar here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify. And this lesson was inspired by this article that I came across right here titled FAA grounds all flights at NYC's LaGuardia due to Canadian wildfire smoke as Blade Runner SK scenes blanket East Coast. As I was reading this article, it immediately made me think of the coming, fire that the Lord is going to bring upon Babylon the Great. All right. So what you're seeing right now happening in New York is just an inkling of the great judgment that's about to befall Babylon the Great in the near future. And as you look at, that Canadian wildfire, the effects that it's having, on the East Coast, it's just when I was reading it, it made me think of, you think that's bad. Wait till the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai rest upon Babylon the Great, which is America, the time is where, this place is about to be judged for all of its wickedness. It's slavery, it's rape, robbery, and murder of the 12 tribes of Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, the slavery and the stealing of this land from the Native Americans who are the tribe of Gad and, other tribes of the Southern Kingdom. Just great judgment is waiting to befall this place. And what you see here in New York is just an inkling of what the Lord is ultimately about to bring here upon Babylon in the near future. So as I was reading this article, I was just like, hey, man, the Lord is showing signs. The Lord is showing through the Spirit what is to come here upon this place in the near future. All right. So I'm going to read a little bit of this article, but I mainly want to just show you the images that you see. These are very spiritual images, and they're all just signs of what's ultimately, which is to come. And the up and coming days as Esau Edom is judged greatly by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and the holy angels. It says, according to the Federal Aviation Administration, New York LaGuardia Airport has grounded departures due to low visibility until 1400 Eastern Standard Time. Nearby Newark Liberty International Airport tweeted that current smoke conditions may impact your travel. Please check with your airline to determine the status of your flight. All right. But we know that the ultimate smoke and the ultimate burning and the ultimate blocking out of the sun and the moon and the stars upon Babylon the Great is vastly approaching this place. All right. You think that, that smoke, that fire in Canada is something where the Lord has the ultimate smoke coming for Babylon the Great. And 2/3 of you wicked Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the Israelites and all the wicked heathens that are here in Babylon the Great. All right. So let me get this first. This is Isaiah 13:1. It says, the burden of Babylon, which this Babylon is speaking about America. It's not speaking about ancient Babylon. And when you understand prophecy and you see the great judgment that this Babylon is speaking about, it's not talking about ancient Babylon. And I'll show you that. It says, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. And that's what is happening via the ministry of the prophets, starting with the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and the men that are under them. And even some of these other Israelite groups who are out there lifting up the banner, which is the Holy Scriptures and prophecy against Esau Edom, against America, and against these heathen nations of their judgment that is to come. And now they have gone into the gates of the noble. Now you see all these moves are made to do away with free speech. You're seeing now at a lot of these LGBT rallies, people that are out there protesting and speaking the words and righteousness of the Bible are being arrested. You see, so now they're going to try to make their move to silence the prophets and prophecy, which ultimately is too late because this word has gone throughout the four corners of the earth. But we know that we're at that time to where a lot of these nobles and these mayors and governors and lackeys of the New World Order are going to ultimately try to make their move against the prophets. They're just using the guise of white supremacy and ideological extremism as a way to, come at the prophets eventually. It says, I had commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones from my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness, which is the angels and the elect. It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. And this is speaking about, ultimately how the Lord is gathering these different nations that possess the nuclear missiles, ICBMs, to gather them together for World War III, and ultimately to shoot the missiles upon Babylon. And that's that noise in the mountains. This is parabolically speaking about the coming judgment and the weapons of the Lord indignation, which is these nuclear missiles. Verse 5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. You see, that's why these missiles are called ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles. And they were ultimately created for the will of Yahweh Bashem and Hawashai to destroy the whole land of Babylon the Great. It says, howl ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, because there's going to be nothing that you can do when these missiles are shot and they're headed here towards America. No bunker, no plane, no preparations that you can make are going to deliver you from these nuclear missiles. All right. The Lord has specifically put the spirit on these different Germans and scientists and weapon manufacturers to make these weapons for the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You see? It says, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. You see? Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. You see? And this is speaking about Babylon, America. And the Lord's going to destroy all the sinners out of this place. The only ones that's going to make it and be delivered from the wrath of the Lord here in America are the elect, who are going to be taken up in what the so-called white man and his government call UFO or AUPs. You see? It says, behold, I read that. It says, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, which is America, which is, ran by Esau, Edom. You see, and this is the punishment that the Lord has for all the wickedness, like I mentioned earlier, the rape, robbery, the murder, the blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, the enslavement of the Israelites, the Xing out of Yahushai, and all the wickedness that Esau has done as he's taken the helm and been in rulership here. You see? And the Lord's going to blot out the sun. He's going to, do what you see happening right here in New York times a million, man. So let me refresh this. I'm going to show you some of these images, We're showing you that this is just a taste of what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is ultimately going to do to the whole of Babylon, not just the East Coast in the coming days. Look at this. It says breaking weather. It says a ground stop has been issued at Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey and LaGuardia Airport in New York City due to low visibility. You see, look what happens. You can't even, everything is blotted out. The smoke of that fire has totally, covered the sky and the East Coast. And this is going to be on a grand scale, and the whole land is going to be like this when the Lord judges this place with nuclear fire. It says upstate New York looks like Mars right now due to smoke. The sky is orange. Only longer wavelengths of light penetrate the veil of smoke. Air quality and dice pushing 400. And this ain't shit compared to what the Lord's about to do, at that coming and great judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, where the whole land is going to be desolate. The sun and the moon and the stars are not going to give their light when that nuclear missile hits, you see? Look at this. And who is it showing? Spiritually, it's showing the Statue of Liberty, which represents that great whore written of in the book of Revelations, which I'm going to show you in Revelation, the 18th chapter, that sitteth upon many waters. It's speaking about America metaphorically and spiritually, if you have the eyes to see. And the Lord is just showing you, through this fire, what's coming to Babylon the Great. It says, haze shrouds Manhattan skyline as Canada wildfire smoke drifts south. Well, this nuclear fire is going to drift over the whole country of America, man. And it's never going to be inhabited, and it's never going to be, talked about again. And this is just the Lord, showing us through the Spirit what's coming to Babylon. Look at this. Long Island is covered in smoke from the Canadian wildfires. This is so messed up. It smells like someone got their fireplace on 90. Well, these nuclear missiles are going to have this place on 900 billion, man. All right. Ain't nothing going to survive the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, when it comes upon America. So everything that you see, everything that you have ever laid eyes on here in Babylon is no longer going to exist. Let's play some of this.
But it smells smoky. It's foggy. I'm out here in Levittown. I know the city is a lot worse, but it really sucks to breathe.
And you see, and the last thing on these people's mind is that, nuclear destruction is coming here to Babylon the Great or to Washington, D.C. These people are saying, oh, that's messed up. This ain't cool. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet, man. This ain't nowhere near the close to the ultimate judgment that's coming here on Babylon the Great and upon the wicked and upon this world, This is nothing. The White House is going to be totally obliterated at the great judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. See, and these people are not, thinking about, the return of Yahweh Shai. They're not thinking about America as a whole being destroyed off the face of the earth. They're not looking at America as that wicked kingdom that the Lord has his eyes upon, and all the wickedness and the blood that was shed, the rape, robbery, and murder, and wickedness, and witchcraft, and sorcery, and child sex trafficking, the merciless murders of children, and the alphabetism, and all this wickedness that's being promoted here in America, that it doesn't have a day of reckoning. These people are just going on as if, oh, yeah, this is going to clear up. It'll be, summer's coming. It'll be all right. But they don't know the coming judgment that is coming. Let's play this one. Look at that. See that? He said, that's the sun. Well, that ain't nothing what I just read in Isaiah the 14th chapter, 13th chapter. The nuclear missiles hit, you ain't even going to be able to see the sun like that. It's going to be completely blotted out through thick smoke and darkness and judgment and wrath of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Look at this. It says, this is from the movie Blade Runner. But then this is going to be a real thing that's going to happen. But the skyscrapers and the buildings are not going to be left standing to that visibility. All right, let me get that. Let me finish this. Let me jump down. It says, where was I? And this is Babylon will fall to the Medes, which the Medes represents the Russians. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Speaking about the Russians, when they finally, the Lord put the spirit on them to finally let loose those missiles and those arrows, and all the allies of America that's going to turn and flip and burn this whore with fire. It's going to be a glorious day. It's going to be a dark day. It says, their bows, which are those missiles, shall also dash the young men to pieces. They shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, which aka America, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And we know how Sodom and Gomorrah was taken out. It was with fire from heaven and brimstone from the Most High. And we know what they were engaged in and the type of people that lived in those 5 cities, Sodom and Gomorrah being 2 of them and the other 3. And America is following after that same example, man. And this is how we know that this Babylon is not speaking about ancient Babylon, because Iraq is still here today. Business is still being conducted. Babies are being born. Business is being handled. Imports and exports are being carried out in that place. But this Babylon is speaking about America, man. It says, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, you see. So this Babylon is going to be totally annihilated via the nuclear missiles. And like I said, and what's happening over there in New York and on the East Coast with that fire is just an example of what the Lord is going to ultimately do at that day of judgment upon Babylon. It says, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. You see? Just like you see here, this movie example, this is exactly what America's going to be. But you're not going to have this futuristic car. You're not going to have this guy walking around, and those buildings are going to be completely annihilated. And it's going to be in this desert-like fashion, as you see in this still frame. And this is what the Lord has purpose for Babylon the Great. So what you see now is just an inkling of what the Lord is going to ultimately do. Look at this. Smoke from Canadian fire seen here by NASA, MODIS, and Epic Instruments is crossing North America, tinting skies orange and affecting air quality. Fires in the region have burnt hundreds more square miles than is average for this time of year. And this is nothing, man. You know? And it's going to tell you that when the America and Babylon is ultimately destroyed, what does it tell you? That these nations are going to weep and howl for the great destruction that's coming upon this place. And it's only a matter of time. Her days are set to come. And what does it say here? Revelations 18:9, lament for Babylon. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. Who is that her? America. Like I showed you, the Statue of Liberty in that steel frame is symbolic, and it represents America, the whore that sitteth upon many waters. You see? And these nations have all committed fornication with America, financially, morally, business wise, financially, taking on the customs and the ways of America. They've all committed fornication. They've all laid down with this filthy tramp, and they're all are going to see this place be destroyed, and they're all going to take major L's when Babylon is destroyed. It says, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. You see? So what you see happening, all that smoke coming on the East Coast and choking people out and causing bad air quality is just a pinch of what is ultimately going to be the final judgment of America. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. See? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. You see? And these nations are, that get rich off America, they're no longer going to get rich anymore. They're going to see this place and they're going to weep and they're going to lament for Babylon because they all got made rich. They all laid down with this whore. They all got paid. They all made money. They all, increased their wealth and their riches and their status off of the laying down with this filthy whore. So when she is done, they're done. And then Yahweh Shai is going to return and, destroy all these nations and their armies and their military and take away their sovereignty and put them in subjection under him. You see? And they're going to be in perpetual, not forever, but they're going to be subjugated under Yahweh Shai and the 12 tribes of Israel. It says, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beast and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. All the things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee. Thou shalt find them no more at all. Right? Because once America goes down, you're going to go down. All of your living high off the hog, all of your, costly and goodly things that you're able to get from America and from laying down with this whore are going to be dried up. And you're going to go into slavery under the Israelites for 1,000 years, man. So when America is through, all of you nations are going to be through. You see? And 2/3 of our people that trust in this place, you're going to be through too. But, you'll come back in the kingdom of heaven, in a better state. But, the Lord's just showing you the great judgment that is coming to this place. And what you see happening, with all of that smoke and that, blocking out of the sun and that bad weather and that, effects of that fire, the Lord is spiritually showing the prophets, look, hey, man, this place days are numbered, man. Let me see. Let me get this. Oh, man. Let me get that in 2 Peter 3, see if it pops up. No. Conversation. There we go. It's 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11. It says, seeing then that all these things, no, let me read up. It says a new heaven and new earth. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, which are those nuclear missiles, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up, you see. And this is speaking about that great day of judgment upon America, you know. When the nuclear missiles are shot, when the earth is shaken, when Babylon is destroyed, and all this wickedness and the rape, robbery, and murder and sorcery and all this nonsense is burnt up, man, via nuclear missiles through the weapons of the Lord indignation and his judgment. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, you see? And like I said, the majority of these people are not thinking about their having holy conversation and godliness. 2/3 of our people are not thinking about returning and repenting and coming back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They're still caught up in the ways of America, caught up in the ways of Babylon, still trying to chase the bag, still trying to be rappers and social media stars and selling out to fucking Esau. Here it is, great judgment in the wrath of the Lord is coming down upon this place, which is why only the elect are going to be delivered and saved, because they're the ones that are, moving in all holy conversation and godliness. All right, and that word conversation, I think is the word is anastrophe, which means the type of life you're living, how you're living your life, how you're moving about in these dark and evil times, man. And 2/3 of our people forget about it, man. It says, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness, which is why our conversation and our conduct is being, molded in godliness and righteousness. We're walking in the fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We're doing the things that are necessary to escape this coming judgment. So therefore, we're hastening on that day and preparing ourselves and using this grace period, righteously and, as we should, to be found, without spot and without blame when Yahweh judges this earth, so that we can be delivered. It says, nevertheless, I saw that. It says, wherefore, beloved, seeing that you look for such things, be diligent that you may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. See? And that's the state that we're trying to be in, while we know that these things are vastly approaching. And that's why when we see things like this, we're able to link it and see it with a spiritual lens and know that, hey, this is the coming judgment and wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai upon this earth and upon Babylon the Great and upon all the world and the wickedness and the evil people of this world. So therefore, we're trying to be found righteous and part of the elect and in peace and worthy to receive salvation from Yahushai when this great and dreadful day comes, man. So I just want to do this lesson because when I saw this article, it just made me think of, hey, it's bad, but this ain't nothing yet, man. This is just a pinch of what the Lord is going to ultimately do to Babylon the Great. And when he burns this horde with fire and he judges this great city, Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, so you Jakes need to wake the hell up and get your mind right, because this day is coming whether you believe it or not. So with that, Lord willing, you were edified. Call Halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for putting the spirit of me to do this lesson. Until the next one, Shalom.